Hi, I'm Lena. I'm a single mom, a nurse at County General, and up until 3 months ago, I thought I had a pretty solid relationship with my dad. Turns out, I was wrong about a lot of things. Mom, it hurts again, Emma whimpered from her bed. My 8-year-old daughter clutched her side, her face pale and sweaty. I pressed my hand to her forehead. I know, baby. We're going to see Dr. Martinez tomorrow, okay? The next morning, Dr. Martinez didn't waste time with pleasantries. Lena, Emma's appendix is inflamed. We need to operate within the next 48 hours, maybe sooner. 48 hours? My mind raced. Doctor, my dad's wedding is this Saturday. I understand the timing is difficult, but if we wait and it ruptures, we're looking at sepsis, peritonitis. This becomes life-threatening very quickly. I nodded, feeling my stomach drop. When can we schedule it? Saturday morning, first thing. I've already blocked the OR. There's no way to do it Friday? Or even Thursday afternoon? Lena, I'm booking every available slot. Saturday morning is the earliest I can guarantee. If her condition worsens before then, we'll take her in emergency, but that's a scenario we want to avoid. I called Dad from the hospital parking lot. Hey, Dad, I need to talk to you about Saturday. Lena, perfect timing. Janet and I just finalized the seating chart. You're at table 3 with your sister and… Dad, stop. Emma needs emergency surgery on Saturday morning. Silence. Then, you're joking. I'm not joking. Her appendix is inflamed. Dr. Martinez says, reschedule it. I blinked. What? Reschedule the surgery. This wedding has been planned for 6 months, Lena. 6 months. Do you know how much money I've put into this? Dad, it's an appendix. We can't just reschedule it like a haircut appointment. I'm sure it can wait until Monday. Kids are resilient. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Are you seriously asking me to risk my daughter's life for your wedding? Don't be dramatic. I'm asking you to be reasonable. This is my big day, Lena. My only wedding to Janet. Your 3rd wedding overall, though. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Asking me to choose between you and Emma, but since you're making me choose, I choose my daughter. Every single time. If you don't come to this wedding, there will be consequences. Is that a threat? It's a promise. I've given you everything, Lena. Everything. And this is how you repay me? By being a good mother? Yeah, I guess that's exactly how I repay you. You're being selfish. Janet specifically requested you be her maid of honor. Do you know how that's going to look? I don't care how it looks, Dad. Emma is 8 years old and needs surgery. That's the only thing that matters. I hung up. Emma's surgery went perfectly. While she was in recovery, my sister Sarah showed up with flowers and a weird expression. What's wrong? I asked. Sarah sat down heavily. I ran into Janet at the grocery store yesterday. And? And she told me, Lena, she said Dad revised his will last week. Okay. She said he cut you out completely. Everything goes to her now. I stared at her. Because I missed his wedding? Apparently. Janet seemed pretty smug about it. She was like, Robert doesn't tolerate disrespect, and Lena made her choice. He cut me out of his will because I chose my daughter's emergency surgery over his wedding? That's what she said. I'm sorry, Lena. I thought you should know. The next week, I met Sarah for coffee. She brought documents. I did some digging, Sarah said, spreading papers across the table. Dad changed his will 3 times in the last year. Want to guess when the first change happened? When he met Janet? 2 months after. The second change was when they got engaged. The third was last week. So each time I'm guessing I got less and less. And Janet got more and more. But here's the interesting part. I talked to Aunt Marie. I leaned forward. And she said Dad asked her for a loan 6 months ago. $50,000. Said it was for medical expenses. Medical expenses? Dad's healthy. Exactly. Marie said no, obviously. But then I called Uncle Tom, and he said Dad hit him up for $20,000 around the same time. Did Uncle Tom give it to him? He gave him 10. Said Dad was desperate, claimed he needed it for some investment that fell through. I processed this. So Janet's spending his money. Or they're spending it together. Either way, something's off. Oh, and I talked to Dad's neighbor, Mrs. Chen. What did she say? She said there's been a lot of arguing. She heard Janet screaming at Dad about money, something about him being worthless if he didn't have any assets. And get this, she heard Janet on the phone saying, "Once I get my name on everything, we can deal with his bratty daughters." My blood ran cold. She actually said that? According to Mrs. Chen, and you know she's sharp as a tack. Did Mrs. Chen hear anything else? Yeah, she said last month she heard furniture breaking, Dad yelling, "Stop!" and then silence. She almost called the police but didn't want to intrude. God, Sarah, this is worse than we thought. I called Dad that evening. He picked up on the first ring. Lena, to what do I owe this pleasure? We need to talk about your will. My will is none of your business. It became my business when you cut me out because I saved my daughter's life. You chose to disrespect me and Janet on our special day. Actions have consequences. Dad, are you happy? Genuinely happy with her? I'm deliriously happy. Janet is the best thing that ever happened to me. Really? Because Aunt Marie told me you asked her for $50,000. Pause. That's not. Marie shouldn't have told you about that. Uncle Tom told me about the $10,000 you borrowed from him too. What's going on? Are you in trouble? I don't have to explain myself to you. Dad, I'm worried about you. Sarah and I both are. Has Janet asked you to change anything else? Bank accounts? Property deeds? Janet is my wife. Of course she's on my accounts. That's what married people do. How much money have you given her? That's between Janet and me. You don't get to interrogate me about my marriage. I'm not interrogating you. I'm trying to help you. I don't need your help. What I needed was for you to show up to my wedding, and you couldn't even do that. Goodbye, Lena. He hung up. Sarah came over that night. I have more. I talked to Dad's financial advisor, Greg. Remember him? Yeah, he's managed Dad's investments for like 20 years. Dad fired him 2 months ago. Greg said Dad called him out of the blue and said his services were no longer needed. When Greg asked why, Dad said Janet found someone better. Did Greg meet this new person? No, but he said the last time he reviewed Dad's portfolio, it was worth about $1.2 million. The house is paid off, worth another $400K, plus his pension and savings. I whistled. So Janet just married into almost $2 million. And she's making sure you and I don't see a penny of it. We need to talk to Dad, face to face. You think he'll listen? I don't know, but we have to try. I showed up at Dad's house unannounced. Janet answered the door. Lena, how unexpected. I need to talk to my dad. Robert is resting. Then wake him up. This is important. Dad appeared behind her. Lena, what are you doing here? We need to talk. About your will, your money, and what's really going on here. Janet crossed her arms. Robert doesn't have to explain anything to you. Actually, Janet, I wasn't talking to you. Well, I'm his wife, so anything that concerns him concerns me. Does assaulting him concern you too? Because Mrs. Chen heard you beating him last month. Janet's face went white. That's a lie. Is it, Dad? Is it a lie? Dad stepped outside, closing the door. You have 5 minutes. Why did you really cut me out of your will? I already told you. You disrespected. Cut the crap, Dad. You've been changing your will for months, way before your wedding. You've been giving Janet access to everything you own. You've been borrowing money from family. What's going on? Janet is my wife. She deserves to be provided for. Provided for? She's 42 and healthy. Meanwhile, I'm a single mom working 60-hour weeks, and you're acting like I'm the villain because I chose my daughter's surgery over your party. It wasn't just a party. It was my wedding. It was a party. A party where you married a woman you've known for 10 months, a woman who systematically isolated you from your family and drained your bank accounts. The door opened. Janet stood there, smiling coldly. Are you finished? No, actually. Janet, how much of my dad's money have you spent in the last year? That's none of your concern. $300,000. That's how much. I talked to Greg. You had no right. I had every right. He's my father. Dad looked between us. 300,000? Janet, you said the renovations only cost 50. Robert, don't listen to her. She's trying to turn you against me. Dad, please, look at me. Do you remember when I was 8 and I had pneumonia? You sat by my bed every night. You told me stories, brought me soup, never left my side. His expression softened slightly. I remember. That's what I did for Emma. That's what parents do. And you punished me for it. Janet grabbed his arm. Robert, come inside, now. Dad, please. Just think about what I'm saying. Look at the bank statements. Talk to Greg. You'll see I'm telling the truth. He pulled away from my hand. You made your choice, Lena. Now live with it. If you go back inside with her, we're done. You understand that? Fine. We're done. He went inside. Through the window, I saw Janet kissing him, whispering in his ear, and shooting me a triumphant look. Then I saw her shove him hard. He stumbled backward, hitting the wall. She got in his face, screaming, but I couldn't hear the words. When he tried to walk away, she grabbed his arm, her nails digging in. I started recording on my phone. She shoved him again. This time he fell, hitting the coffee table on the way down. She stood over him, still screaming, and when he tried to get up, she kicked him in the ribs. I called 911. The police arrived within minutes. I have video evidence of domestic violence, I told the officer. Dad was sitting on the couch, holding his ribs when we came in. Janet was nowhere in sight. She'd locked herself in the bedroom. Sir, are you injured? The officer asked. Dad looked at me, betrayed. Lena, what did you do? I called the police because I watched your wife assault you. She didn't. It was just an argument. Dad, I have video of her pushing you into a table and kicking you while you were down. The officer took my phone. After reviewing the footage, she called for backup. Ma'am, we need you to come out of the bedroom. Janet emerged, all tears and distress. Officer, this is a misunderstanding. Robert and I had a disagreement, and his daughter is trying to cause problems because she's been cut out of his will. Ma'am, we have video evidence of you assaulting your husband. That's ridiculous! Show me this supposed video! The officer showed her. Janet's face went white, then red. He provoked me. He was talking to her after everything she did. What did I do, Janet? Save my daughter's life? You ruined everything! The wedding was perfect until you... Ma'am, you need to stop talking. Dad, I said quietly. Tell them the truth. Has she hit you before? He wouldn't meet my eyes. Sometimes she gets frustrated. How often is sometimes? Lena, please? Dad, how often? A few times a week. But I'm fine. You're not fine. Look at yourself. The paramedics arrived. They documented bruising on his arms, ribs, and back. Old bruises, new bruises, all different stages of healing. Janet was arrested. As they walked her out, she turned to Dad. You better not press charges, Robert. You know what happens if you do. I'll take everything. Everything. You've already taken everything, I said. That's why we're here. At the station, I sat with Dad while he gave his statement. Sarah showed up halfway through. I brought the financial records, she told the detective, and I spoke with Dad's old financial advisor. He's willing to testify about the suspicious account activity. The detective reviewed everything. Mr. Patterson, I'm recommending we add financial elder abuse charges. Your wife has withdrawn over $300,000 from your accounts in the last 8 months. Dad looked stunned. 300,000? Most of it went to accounts in her name only. You've been manipulated, sir. I trusted her. She said we needed it for investments. For the house. Sir, there were no investments. No house repairs. Just transfers to her personal accounts. Over the next few weeks, the case built itself. Janet had done this before. 2 previous husbands, same pattern. Marry quickly, isolate them from family, gain financial control, abuse them until they're too scared to leave. Dad called me one evening. Lena, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know you are. I should have listened to you. I should have been at that hospital with Emma. I was so caught up in Janet and having someone again that I lost sight of what really mattered. Can you forgive me? No. What? I can't forgive you, Dad. You chose a woman you barely knew over your own granddaughter. You punished me for being a good mother. That's not something I can just forget. But I was being manipulated. You were. But you also made choices. You decided I was disposable. You have to live with that. So that's it? We're done? I don't know what we are, but we're definitely not okay. Maybe someday we can rebuild something, but that's going to take years, not weeks. I'll do whatever it takes. Then start by getting therapy. Deal with why you let this happen. Figure out why you valued a new wife more than your daughter and granddaughter. And then maybe we'll talk. I revised my will last week. Everything goes to Emma. Sarah will be executor. Dad isn't mentioned at all. Sometimes people show you who they really are, and you have to believe them. My dad showed me that when it came down to it, I wasn't his priority. So now he's not mine. Emma's doing great, by the way. She's back to soccer, straight A's, and asking when Grandpa's coming to visit. I tell her maybe someday, but I don't believe it. Has anyone else dealt with a parent who chose their new partner over their own children? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about standing up for yourself and the people you love.